Good morning, good morning. I hope you're having a fantastic start to your Friday. And of course, it's the end of the week, so I hope everyone's had a fantastic week. I am just loving the weather here at the moment. It's amazing. So nice to be out in the spring weather, apart from a little bit of hay fever, so hopefully you're not suffering from that. But today, I really want to chat about what is the one biggest challenge that we can have when we're trying to change our life, we're trying to improve our life, trying to get things happening in a different way. Good morning, good morning. Say hello if you're jumping on. Hey, Chris. So what is the one biggest challenge that we all come up against when we are trying to change our life? And how do we actually overcome that? And this can be something as well that really can be quite debilitating, quite frustrating in many ways as well. Hey, Christy, great to have you on, darling. So send me some love if you're just jumping on. I always love getting love on a Friday morning. So just going to move that back a fraction. Hey, Jody, great to have you on too, darling. So when we are looking to make changes, often it can be like a huge time of uncertainty. There's lots of different things kind of going on, and it really can, I guess, this particular challenge can really make things difficult to be clear on what it is that we're actually wanting to create. And the biggest challenge that we actually find when you are wanting to make changes is we actually keep looking back at the past. We keep looking at, and we're moving away from something as opposed to moving towards something. And I think that this is a really important distinction because law of attraction, manifestation, how we feel, all of those things. And when we're looking back at something or we're wanting to move away from something, good morning to everyone that's just jumping on. Hey, Jane, lovely to have you on here. Hey, Charity, lovely to see you again, darling. So when we're wanting to make those bigger changes, quite often we're wanting to move away from an experience that feels challenging or doesn't feel good. And hey, Mick, hey, Di, great to have you on. How are the Dolomites? Oh my goodness, your pictures look amazing. So Di's on an amazing trek at the moment. But look, when we're wanting to make those changes, like I said, it really is about starting to focus, starting to get clear on what it is that you do want to create in your life. And I have an amazing saying, which I'm not sure who ultimately came up with it, but I know that I heard it first from Tony Robbins. Hey, Roz, great to have you on, honey, which is life happens for us, not to us. And I know when I first heard that, I was quite challenged at the time. And perhaps like a little bit angry, a little bit resentful. I'm like, what? How can this be happening for me? And that was like at the height of everything that I was going through. My marriage had broken down, so I'd moved, like I lost my family home. It was, just a new single mom. I was only earning $300 a week at the time. My mum had just been diagnosed with terminal cancer. So there was a lot going on, and it was just, there was so much that I was wanting to move away from as well. And so I was very clear on what I didn't want and what I was feeling challenged in and what I was not happy about in my life. And what I find is when I chat with people, or particularly when I'm first speaking with a client, they're very clear on what they don't want. And even when I'm asking them what they want 12 months from now, quite often they're like, well, I don't want to feel like this anymore, and I don't want to feel like that anymore. And all of that is, particularly with the law of attraction, it really makes it difficult to start to create changes. But when we're constantly looking backwards, that's where we're heading as well. So it's like saying to ourselves, I don't want to think of the blue shoe. I don't want to think of the blue shoe. I don't want to think of the blue shoe. And I know for a few of you on here that have working with me personally, I know that you would have heard me say that simply because wherever our focus goes, it's what we resist that persists. It's where our energy goes is where our focus is, and it creates so many challenges in wanting to create changes as well. Because hey, Candice, great to have you on, honey. I met with Deb Bromhill yesterday, and Broomhill, sorry, and yeah, she said that she also knew you as well. So it's just some random information there. But definitely, when we're wanting to create those changes, it's so important to have clarity on your future vision and to keep looking towards that, to keep moving towards that. And I think that we can do that easier with that statement that life happens for us, not to us, where we can reframe a lot of those things. And hey Jess, great to have you on, honey, where we can reframe a lot of those past things that have been traumas or that have been really difficult circumstances, and think about what is the gift that that's given you. Has it helped you to become more resilient? Has it helped you to develop greater discipline? Has it helped you learn greater empathy for others, or perhaps become so tuned into other people and their responses, so therefore you're much more affluent in being able to communicate at a better level? Like, what have those experiences given you? Because I truly believe at a deep level that life really does happen for us, not to us, and it has changed my life in so many ways just from focusing on that. And even in the past month or so, I've just been kind of unpicking a few things that have gone on at a much younger age for myself, and it's been really helpful just to be like, wow, well, without those experiences, that wouldn't have led me to here, that wouldn't have led me to there, and then that wouldn't have ultimately, I wouldn't be the woman that I am today without those experiences. And so being able to really bring a lot of gratitude into those events, those past events that of course we have no control over, that have been, and you know, we can try as we want to try and change them, but of course that's going to leave us feeling out of control and powerless, and in a sense of despair and all of those unhelpful emotions or unresourceful emotions. So definitely by taking that time to really reframe, you know, what is this actually giving me? We all go through the fire at some point in our life, and that might be a small fire or a large fire relative to what other people experience. It's not about that. It's really, you know, your own personal experience, and something that might seem fairly small to perhaps other people might be something massive for you, or something that's massive for other people, you know, it might seem really, really big for you as well. So it's all relative to how you're actually, I guess, taking in that experience and what you mean, what you make that experience particularly mean. So if it's like, okay, how is this going to help me become a better version of me? What is it that I can learn from this? How can I reframe this, where this really is an opportunity to learn from this and to be able to step into a greater version of myself as a result of it. And I think it's such a powerful tool to be able to use, and I know it's changed my life in so many ways, and will also help you with getting clear on what is that future vision, because like I said before, it's like driving a car but looking in reverse the whole time. Like it's just not helpful. You're not going to be able to see clearly where it is that you want to go, and to be able to navigate that, even though there might be obstacles, turns, challenges, changes, all of those things of course will come up, because life is such a gift, and it will always represent opportunities where we can shift or change things or deal with things in a better way. What I've found for myself personally, hey Kate, great to have you on, hun. What I've found for myself personally is that the same experience, and you might like really resonate with this, the same experience, even though it might be with different people or a different situation, but it's a very similar experience, might happen again and again and again, and we might be really reactive with it. But it's almost like, I think of it like the Mario games, not that I ever used to play them, but like the little Game Boy games, where you can't get to the next level until you've overcome or mastered that particular challenge. And so when these opportunities, I'm very clued in, I'm very, I guess, keenly aware of when those situations seem to be repeating themselves, and it's like, what am I not getting? What is it that I need to learn from this? How do I need to shift and change internally, where now I start living a different life as a result of that? And I had one of those opportunities like even 2 or 3 weeks ago, where in the past I would have reacted in a very different way. I started to go into that reaction for like 1 or 2 minutes, and I asked myself the question, who do I choose to be, and what outcome do I actually now choose for myself really consciously. And it shifted the whole thing like so fast. And of course there was some resistance internally initially to that, simply because I was still in my old pattern, was still doing like my old neural pathways were still lighting up in the same way, going into the old same emotion that I would have experienced in the past from a similar experience. And I was able to reframe that very quickly. And then as we start to do that, it starts to rewire in a new resourceful pattern as well, which can be so helpful. So definitely take some time to think about, when I talk about what I want or what I don't want, or when I think about the vision of my life or what I'm focusing on, are you focusing on what it is that you want to create in your life? Are you focusing on where you're actually heading on your future vision? Or is it like, are you using language like, well, I don't want to be exhausted anymore, I don't want to be tired anymore, or I don't want to be broke anymore, or I don't want to feel worried about money anymore, or any of that language. So just be really, really clear for yourself, what language am I actually using when I talk about where I want to go in my life? And what you'll notice is that you'll start to feel better, just even focusing on where you're actually heading and what you do want to experience. It's and I think it's a tricky one sometimes, and I even catch myself out still lots at the moment, and in the past as well, simply because that survival mind, that ego mind, it is so hardwired to protect us. So it's constantly looking for what's going wrong, what's not working, what's bad, what's going to hurt us, and it's judging everything. And I think we can get so judgmental on ourselves as well when we continue to look at a past situation, or we're moving away from something, so we're looking at what we're wanting to move away from. And it's like, having the identity around, I want to be healthier, but we're actually not focusing on that. What we're actually focusing on is, I'm still eating rubbish, or I'm not walking enough, and we have all these rules which then make us feel like a failure, that we're not moving towards it, or we're not doing the right thing. And when we're focusing on what it is that we don't want, we tend to focus on all the things that we haven't achieved or that we haven't done as well, and that's not helpful to our self-esteem. It's not helpful to our self-belief or our self-confidence. And often we negate, or we distort, or we delete like all of the good things that we are actually doing and how far we have actually come, and then we stack that as well. So and by stacking that, I mean, it's like we think about all the failures then that have happened in our life, or all the ways that we haven't followed through in our life, or all the different challenges as well. Hey Bri, great to have you on, hun. So that can be really, really challenging as well. And of course, he's not going to have you feeling inspired. He's not going to have you feeling like you're wanting to step forward and take aligned action on what it is that you want to create, because you're constantly in this resistant state of, well, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. And we're pushing it away, but the whole time it's exactly where our focus is going. So I hope that's been really helpful for you guys. I'm so passionate about this because it really is about stepping forward and really getting clear on that vision. Where are you headed? How do you want to be feeling about yourself? What do you want to be creating within your life? And also using those reframes of a past situation as well. Perhaps you might have been going through some really big challenges, and I don't want to make those trite for a second. I want to be respectful of that, because I know for me, like when I was being told, life is a gift, and I was so angry when I heard it, because it was just like, don't you get like where I'm at? Like, don't you get how hard this is? So I am absolutely saying this with 100% compassion and with so much love and honesty, because if that's where you're focusing, and it was where I focused for a long time, because I had so many things kind of happening all at once, and sometimes life happens like that. It's like, righto girl, it's time to grow. And so life throws us like a zillion challenges at once. And it's through looking at, well, how am I learning? How am I growing? How can I learn from this? What is the gift in this? What is the new characteristic? Who do I choose to be as a result of this? And in that way, we can go through the fire of life and get shaped or molded in any particular way. It's like any person can go through a similar event, but we'll all choose to make that mean a particular thing, or we'll all choose to become either a worse version version of ourselves, so even more reactive or more bitter or more angry or more frustrated or any of those things, or it's like, righto, this is not going to be me. I'm going to step up. This is who I choose to be. This is what this has given me. Yes, I'm even more determined now. Yes, I'm even more stronger internally, and it doesn't matter. And, not that it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter what happens. I know that I'll always find a way. And the fact that I'm still here, the fact that I'm still going, it means I am going to find a way, and I can absolutely handle this. Thank you so much, Roz. Oh, that's so beautiful, honey. And I think we all need reminders like this at times as well. So if it resonates with anybody else and you've exactly the same as Roz, please feel free to share that or tag them in this video as well. I know for myself, like if people hadn't have been talking about different aspects and different things, I wouldn't have learned what I learned and wouldn't be sharing it with you now as well. So we can all light that candle. We can all share different bits and pieces where it really does help us all, and we can all together raise each other up and walk each other home, which I love that statement so much. So wishing you all an amazing day. For the local Wagga ladies, if you are looking to perhaps get some tips, get some ways of taking care of you, we still have our Just Be Renewed event coming up next Saturday the 29th. I'm really, really excited about it. Brie and Bridget and Tina and Katrina and myself will all be talking on the day about various aspects about some of the challenges that happen as women, the pressures that we put on ourselves and how we can overcome that, how we can take great care of our nutrition and our health and well-being. Hey Tracy, great to have you on. So if you know of anyone in the local Wagga area, there's only limited tickets, so please don't leave it to the last second, otherwise you will miss out. And I'd hate for that if it's something that really resonates for you. So make sure you jump in, grab your tickets. I'll put the link below as well. Hey Helen, great to have you on. And I really look forward to seeing you there. Come and talk to me after at the event if you pop on down. But otherwise, have an amazing day. And I truly hope that's been helpful for you. And if you're not clear on what your vision is, if you're not clear, you're clear on what you don't want to experience anymore, but you're like, well, I really don't know what it is that I'm wanting to create, or maybe you're feeling a little bit lost or unsure, please PM me. I'm more than happy. We can do a complimentary strategy session, see where you're at the moment, see what it is that you're wanting to create, or perhaps you know that you're going through some strong challenges and you're not quite sure how to navigate through that. It is my absolute joy and passion to be able to help people really embrace our own emotional mastery, because I think when we can come from that place, hey Bron, great to have you on, when we can come from that place of true inner strength. And I know when I built that solid foundation for myself at 32 or 33, I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know like any of this stuff, and my life was so challenging because of the way that I thought, because of how I perceived things, because of how personally I used to take things when people would do things, and how many rules I had about who I needed to be and who everybody else needed to be and what they should all be doing. And I was so scared internally that I was really trying to control my external world, and of course that's just, it leaves us feeling powerless and in a state of despair and frustration and all those things. So if that has been a challenge for you in the past, please send me a PM. We can jump in, do a strategy session. When you learn the tips and tools around emotional mastery, it truly is life-changing, where you can change how you feel literally in a heartbeat. I had a new client literally reach out. We've only done one session, and she sent me the most beautiful voicemail yesterday, just going, oh my God, I can't believe how much has shifted and changed. I just taught her one tool that she could really deeply understand what's kind of going on for her internally, and as a result she's had this ripple effect massively through her life. And I'm so excited for our call next week. It'll be amazing. So if you've had some of those challenges, sometimes all it is just a couple of little key distinctions that can really shift and change things very quickly for you, and we'll have you back on that path to where you want to go and not wasting any energy in resistance. If you are tired, if you are exhausted physically, I can promise you, you're focusing on what you don't want, and you're in a strong state of resisting your own good, and feeling really challenged around that, and it's like swimming upstream. It's exhausting and we don't get very far very fast. So if you're wanting to enjoy the ride and float down the river, and yes, of course, still navigate the way along the way. But if you're wanting life to feel a lot easier, if you're wanting to feel better internally as well as physically and emotionally, it's why adrenal burnout happens a lot. Hey Susie, then definitely reach out, send me a PM, and yes, and share this video if it really resonates with you, or if you know that somebody else could really use this help as well. So the biggest takeaway from today is really focus on what it is that you're wanting to create, and by that it's like positive language. I do want to feel healthier, I'm looking forward to feeling healthier, or looking forward to feeling secure with money, or that I can pay my bills easily. Like, focus on what it is that you do want to create, not on what you're pushing against or what you're wanting to move away from. So I hope that's helpful. Lots of love to you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. So much gratitude to you all, and have an amazing, amazing Friday. Lots of love. Bye.